It's Tuesday morning, and we've a full lineup for you today. Here's what's coming up.
Today, Brian Holman is at Premier Farm and Home discussing strategies for irrigating lawns. Next, we meet Ed McCarty, who performs non-sedation equine dentistry using hand floats, and see why your horse's teeth are vitally important to its health. Then, with record high prices, learn why beef may be a hard sell this year unless it proves it's worth the extra dough. And finally, in our Healthy Yard segment, find out when it's better to plant from transplants rather than seeds.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
This segment is brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road.
Welcome back to the show. We're out at Premier Farm and Home this morning. We're joined by Chaz. Good to see you, Chad.
Hey, Brian. How you doing?
I'm doing well, besides having cracks in my yard because we're not getting much moisture this spring.
I know. Maybe it might change. We might get a little, kind of turn the corner a little bit and get some of this moisture, but still seeing cracks out there. Yeah.
Well, grass is still green. Still looks okay.
Okay.
I would imagine because of the temperature and some of the moisture that we got earlier in spring, say in March and stuff like that. But there's going to come a point in time when my yard's going to need some water. Walk me through what I need to be thinking about.
Well, the biggest thing is you want that physical indication that it's dry, whether that be cracks or you go and you kind of put your hands in the dirt, for lack of a better term, and you can feel that cool water not too far down. That's a good sign. If you're feeling dust and it's dry and it's insulated, yeah, we want to think about irrigating. And when we do irrigate in the spring, we want to go ahead and really put the water to it and then back off. You know, it shouldn't be a frequent daily or that sort of thing, with the exception of if you're trying to get some seedlings up. So what it is you just want to put down maybe a ½ inch to an inch or something like that, which is a lot of water if you're trying to put that down. That's running it for quite some time. And then just letting it dry completely out to where you see those cracks again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rain in between those times? I mean, if we go long periods of time without rain, should we be checking rain gauges and kind of seeing where we're at?
Yeah, I mean, the rain, the local weather to your area is absolutely important. What the plant would require is somewhere around an inch of water per week. So if you get some of that from Mother Nature, that's great. You know, then you can just kind of subtract that from your total. But simply using some sort of container, old rain gauge, any flat-sided container, put it out there when you irrigate so you know how many inches you put down, and then you can kind of add that to what Mother Nature gives you and just make sure that you're getting about an inch per week in the spring when we're getting things started.
And we talked about this in the fall when we were talking about seeding and grasses going dormant and all that other stuff. An inch of irrigated water takes a long time. Don't pull it off too quickly.
That's right, yeah, and you may be surprised. Like, for example, when we were, I use the example of me in my yard when we went out and put just your traditional rainbow irrigation, the ones that kind of go back and forth. I put a Tupperware container out there and left it on for 2.5 hours and got a 1/4 inch. So, think about that when you're using it, that it does take some time, and if you have to move it to spots, you might alternate days or something. Today I water this spot, and then I move to the next spot rather than trying to move it around while you're watering that day.
Anything else that will help us keep that moisture locked in as long as we can keep it?
Not really. I mean, the main thing is also keep your mowing height high. We want to make sure that we're mowing our tall fescue lawns at that 3 to 3.5 inch mark. The tendency is to mow it a little shorter in spring, and that exposes the canopy to that air movement and that sort of thing, and the sunlight to the soil. Brings up weeds which steal moisture and also dries it out a little faster.
And we want to remind everybody it's springtime. You're going to start mowing a lot, so make sure you sharpen that blade.
Very important.
Very, very important that you sharpen that blade. We want to remind everybody, heycal.com. If you have any questions or need any answers to anything, you can go to their website. You can send Chad a question. Or if not, you can just come out and see him out here at Premier Farm and Home. So, Chad, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Brian.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine is a leader in food animal research and education. Our researchers are constantly expanding the knowledge of animal health and food safety. Through the Veterinary Health Center and the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, we provide practical services for animal producers. Home of the Beef Cattle Institute, the college is committed to animal welfare training and research. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, knowledge and service for the future of animal production.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Roy Fry Western Lifestyles brings the cowboy or cowgirl out in all of us. With a huge selection of must-have items, it doesn't matter if you're shopping for your horse, picking up some Western accessories to add that rustic charm to your home, or simply treating yourself. The knowledge and expertise to dress you your Western best is right here at Roy Fry Western Lifestyles, Highway 24 and Kansas Avenue in Topeka.
Now another gardening tip with Annette Jackson.
For the greenest, healthiest, weed-free lawn in your neighborhood, the Fertilome Lawn Care program is the best. Fertilome Lawn Care products provide your lawn with the exact ingredients for proper fertilization and weed prevention. Jackson's friendly staff will call you to let you know when to apply the next step. We can also do it for you, so call or stop in now.
The Fertilome Lawn Care program is still available at last year's prices, but hurry, time is limited.
This segment is brought to you by Roy Fry Western Lifestyles, dressing Northeast Kansas their Western best for almost 60 years.
My name is Ed McCarty. I perform non-sedation dentistry, which is kind of a lost art anymore. I've been doing it about 20 years. I started doing it as a racehorse trainer back about 20 years ago. Started doing it on the racetrack when I realized the importance of dentistry, and there was very little information to be found on it. So I started studying on my own, worked on my own, or just started doing it with what I'd learned on my own for 2 or 3 years, realized that I didn't really know what I was doing, went to school for it, and began doing it on the racetrack. And that's where I picked up the non-sedation dentistry, because on the racetrack you can't sedate a lot of the horses. They'll be running and show up in the blood test or the urine test if they run first or second. And then when I came off the track, I just continued doing it non-sedation with hand floats. And I've been doing it about 12 or 13 years in this area. People have a choice of going with sedation dentistry and power floats, and some people prefer that, which is great. My main thing, I do a lot of education work. I do a lot of seminars, clinics, that type of thing on dentistry, not showing people how to float teeth, but showing people what teeth a horse has, what goes wrong, what happens at different ages. So if I can accomplish getting people educated on horse teeth and dentistry, then I really don't care who does it. I mean, it's fine. I'm more than happy to do it. But as long as I can get it in people's head, it should be done, then they have choices on who does the dentistry. People ask me all the time how you get a horse to stand still for you to do it. And my standard answer usually is horses are really good at making a huge deal out of anything you want to make a big deal out of. But if I just approach it like it is basically no big deal and approach them with no fear, they tend to believe me and they'll stand there and accept it. There's no pain involved in dentistry if you stay on the teeth, because there's no nerve endings in the teeth of any type. So if I stay away from gum tissue and cheek tissue and the tongue and everything sensitive inside the mouth, then they realize it's not hurting them. The vibration, I think, sometimes is almost soothing to them and or almost mesmerizing in a sense. And they may react a little bit when I first start. Most of them will calm right down and accept the procedure very well. The teeth on a horse, you've got your incisors and then you've got your molars, and there's a gap of about, most horses 3-4 inches, which is called the bars area, which is just a blank area with no teeth. Male horses will have their canine teeth in this bars area. Some people get the impression that when you install a bit seat or roll in a bit seat, that it's a place for the bit to come back and hit, to lay in the teeth. The bit doesn't ever get back to those front molars. The bit is in the corners of the cheek, and what happens is when you put pressure from the bit, it pushes the cheek tissue in between the top and bottom front molars, and if it's pointed or 90-degree angle or sharp, then then that cheek tissue is getting poked and it irritates it. So a bit seat is simply smoothing, rounding off the front molars, top and bottom, where I like to think of it as a soft area, but actually a smooth area for that cheek tissue to hit whenever you put pressure from the side.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
We've been using Multi-Min for about 7 years. It's one of the most multi-use products that we have here on the farm. Bulls, cows, calves, weaning age cattle, just about everything on the place. If they go through the chute, they get a shot of it. The primary use that we started Multi-Min was in our donor program, in our embryo transplant program. I'd recommend Multi-Min to any producer in the cattle business. Here at Deer Valley, every animal that goes through the chute gets a dose of Multi-Min.
Dr. Dan here. Whether I'm driving up and down the roads covering the state of Kansas, or I'm getting between Riley and Manhattan for my job, I'm driving a Ford truck. I'd like you to come out and visit my friends here at Dick Edwards Ford. They have a truck that'll suit your needs, whether you're looking for power with a Power Stroke diesel, or if you're looking for fuel efficiency with the new EcoBoost engine, they got a truck that's just right for you. They're located 2 miles east of the Town Center Mall in Manhattan, Kansas, and they'll bend over backwards to help you. And I'll see you down the road.
Get ready for the Kicker Country Stampede presented by Verizon Wireless, starring Jason Aldean, Trace Atkins. 4 days of camping and country music at Country Stampede, Little Big Town. The Pistol Annies featuring Ashley Monroe, Miranda Lambert, and Angelina Presley. Country Stampede. Take advantage of our current pricing. Use Easy Pay to split up your payments. Save money through April 30th with early bird pricing. More info at countrystampede.com.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Premier Farm and Home. Stop by or visit us at heycow.com.
My name is Ed McCarty. The non-sedation dentistry is a veterinary procedure in a lot of states, and it's considered a veterinary procedure in general. What I offer is an option of non-sedation dentistry and hand floats. People have a choice of going with sedation dentistry and power floats, and some people prefer that, which is great. The first thing I attempt to do when I walk up to any horse is read the horse, because I want to know what they're thinking, whether they're afraid of what's going to happen, whether they're kind of confused, whether they're just really aggravated because I'm there in the first place. And once in a great while I run across one that is just plumb mad that I showed up that day. I get calls that my horse has wolf teeth. Get out there and it's actually canine teeth. A wolf tooth and a canine tooth there is a lot of confusion by a lot of people. The canine teeth, all males will have them. They are two fairly long pointed teeth in the bars area, in the blank area on the horse. They'll have one on each side on the bottom, one on each side on the top. Theory is that they were probably a defensive fighting tooth years ago, and they're still there. We don't extract them. They have a long root, clear down seated in the bone. So it's a major operation to extract them. They're like the rest of the teeth. They don't have nerve endings, so we can reduce them or cut them off, and that's fine if they're interfering. The wolf teeth are a really small tooth, about the size of your eye tooth, directly in front of the front molar. They're usually even touching the front molar on top only on each side. And they're not seated in a bone socket. They're a short root. They're a low trauma extraction, and as a rule, we always extract them. They're useless and they cause irritation. They get in the way, so we extract them. I live between Lawrence and Kansas City, a little town of Linwood. I try to stay within, on my coverage area, I try to stay within 75-mile radius, if I can. I've got a few customers from racetrack days in as far as Wichita, I've been over St. Louis a time or two. But I try to stay within 75-mile radius of Lawrence, DeSoto area. I have a website, which is myhorsesteeth.com. They can reach me through contact or through my email on the website. My regular email address is mredmc, misteredmc @aol.com, or cell phone 816-679-5562.
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced Performance is here now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Purple Wave is a proud supporter of the Kansas FFA through the Bid for Blue program. Purple Wave donates a portion of the proceeds earned on certain ag assets to the Kansas FFA. Winning bidders can designate a Kansas chapter to receive the donation. To date, Purple Wave is proud to have donated over $10,000. Visit purplewave.com to learn more and to place bids on Bid for Blue assets. Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information. This segment is brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook. Stop by or visit us at sftmeats.com.
Expensive price tags set sellers up for a hard task. Cattle Facts says U.S. beef finds itself in that spot, both domestically and in the export markets.
Today, we're sitting here basically at record high prices when you look at it from a live cattle perspective or a cutout perspective. And as you rank that across the globe, we are the third highest when we look at things. The Japanese Wagyu product's higher. We don't really compare with that because it's a different type of a product. But yeah, we're third in the globe, and that concerns us from an export standpoint as we look at our trade forecast for 2013.
Record high beef prices come at a time when consumers may have less disposable income too.
Well, relative to the economic situation, and as we look at it related to beef demand, we're looking at GDP growth that's going to be 1 to 2% growth, which is not super positive to beef demand as we look at 2013. So that's something we've got to be conscious of as we look forward here.
That's true overseas as well. Mature markets will pose more challenges than emerging ones like China, India, and Vietnam. Across the globe, U.S. beef commands a premium because trading partners crave the grain-fed flavor that sets the product above beef from other regions of the world. Murphy says at some price point, people will turn away from even the best beef. But the promise of premium brands allow that level to be relatively high.
Branding is very important, and obviously if we're looking at certified Angus beef as an example, that branding is really critical. You've got higher pricing points there, and that's going to continue to be the situation as we go forward. You'll certainly see those higher pricing points. But the bottom line is that you still have to be able to get the consumer to buy it, and at some point they will find a resistance from a price standpoint. It just may be at a higher level than commodity beef. But branding is very important for the industry for sure.
Beef may be a hard sell this year, unless it proves it's worth the extra dough.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Golf Week calls it the best course you can play in Kansas. But once you play, you'll want to stay. Go for it. Firekeeper Golf Course at Prairie Band Casino and Resort is just north of Topeka off Highway 75. Our stay and play package is worth the trip. Luxury hotel room, green fees, and golf cart for two, starting at just $169.
Prairie Band Casino and Resort. Go for it.
I'm Dennis Tebow. My wife and I, Kathy, are the owners of Wolf Creek Cattle Company. We have grown to approximately 70 bulls.
I'm Reese Arnold. I'm the livestock manager at Wolf Creek Cattle Company. You know, these are not just like normal cattle. These cattle, they're hauled anywhere from, 8 to 10 hours a day across the United States and asked to perform. The Multi-Man 90 keeps them kind of level. It maintains and balances their system. The stress level is less when everything's right and working right, then they're working right.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Premier Farm and Home. Stop by or visit us at haycow.com.
When it's time to plant your garden and you go to the nursery or the garden center and you see the seed racks with all of the seeds, or those garden catalogs come in the mail and you wonder, well, which plants do I grow from seeds and which ones do I grow from transplants? And it can be a little bit confusing. A lot of our plants in Kansas can very successfully be grown from seeds, and that's a very inexpensive way to start your garden. Seed packets are usually less than $1 or $2 each, so for a few dollars you can get a lot of garden planted. But in some cases, it's really better to use transplants. In the case of peppers and tomatoes, we use transplants because we get a little jump on the season. Both of these plants are very susceptible to the cold. We have to wait until the soil is warm and the nights are warm before we can put out tomatoes and peppers. If we planted tomatoes or peppers from seed directly in the ground, we'd probably delay our harvest by as much as 6 to 8 weeks. Here I have some cauliflower, and it's an example of a cole crop. When we think of cole crops, those are things like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and with those we often plant with transplants as well. These are cool season crops. They do best in the cool weather, and when the days start to get hot, they bolt. They want to be done for the season. So by planting cole crops in March using transplants, we're getting those plants in the ground so that we can take advantage of that cool weather and have a quality plant and harvest before we have the heat of the summer. So if you have any questions about whether you should plant from seeds or transplants, you can always consult the Kansas Garden Guide. And in the back, there's a chart, and you can look by each individual crop, and it will tell you if I should plant from seeds or from transplants. You can get the Kansas Garden Guide at your local extension office, or you can also download it online and just click on publications.
For more information, visit your local extension office or visit our website at kansasgreenyards.org.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
We'll have lots more for you tomorrow here on Ag AM in Kansas. We're here every weekday, same time, same station. Or look for us on the web at agaminkansas.com. Eric Atkinson here from K-State Research and Extension.